Hey there again, folks. Welcome back to New Day, New Game. Today we're playing The Four Rings, which has the subtitle A Space Opera Visual Novella. Just says The Four Rings on here, so I guess that's what we'll go with. Anyway, this is a completely free game on Steam. I've had it installed for about 2-3 weeks, and I've just hadn't done a video for it yet. So, but anyway, wanted to give it a try. Wanted to do a video on it, see how it is. So yeah, let's see how it is. I'm assuming it takes place in space. It looks spacey. We're on a planet. It looks like the moon, but it's got asteroids and stuff on it. So I'm assuming it's not the moon, unless the Earth's blown up. Maybe this is the Earth rotating around the moon. Maybe that blue stuff is water, space water. But anyway, yeah, let's see how it is. The music is really low so far. I'm kind of shocked, honestly. But yeah, music is low so far. I don't know if it's gonna get louder. It's almost all the way up. So yeah, I'm a little worried about eardrums right now. But let's see. Here to kill us. Help, please. Everything hurts.
So. Can't do anything.
Oh, there's voice acting. Just for that one line, okay. Your fault, so don't.
Die. Leave me alone. What are you?
Okay, just waiting to see if maybe there'd be a voice. It's Captain. Appreciate it. Known Doctor. To fulfill my duty.
What are you talking about? Ridiculous.
Identified the lead couple.
Why would they? Strange.
Escort you. Transporting the cribbit.
How do you know they really know?
Find info.
But.
Whoa. Blinding light. That dream again. Day 1. So it's multiple days that we go here. The rings of the planet Ogygia loomed in the distance as I gazed out the portside windows of the Ithaca. Thought that for a second I said Orgygia. I was like, okay. If that was the name of the planet, I would expect them to possibly be rather friendly down there. Come out, pull up a chair, pull out a chair. Though the surface of Ogygia was practically uninhabitable, the same couldn't be said of the enchanting blue rings encircling it. I'd found it as beautiful as it was alien when residing within the Four Rings for the last 2 years. If only the reason for my visit had been a happier one. My home planet, no Constantia, had declared sudden war on the inhabitants of Ogygia 3 years ago. If it could even be called a war. The outcry from those of us horrified by the invasion and brave enough to voice it had been met with deafening silence. Something in me just snapped. I'm Doctor Athena. 2 years ago, in protest, I volunteered to a humanitarian group to offer my aid to the Four Rings of Ogygia. The ITOH, or Intergalactic Travelers Offering Health Care, It's based out of Aea. Our mission statement is to offer treatment to all who need it without prejudice. In the Ogygian branch campsite, we mostly treated Ogygian refugees, sometimes even soldiers. But my time and contribution there was recently cut short. Ito's only Ogygian refugee campsite was gone. I guess I'm all that's left of it now. I sighed and adjusted my focus to the image of the tired woman looking back at me from the window pane. Felt like a lifetime ago since I had really looked at the woman in my reflection. Her hair seemed thinner than I remembered, the eyes more strained. Gone was the hopeful optimism, perhaps left on those icy blue stones that circled Ogygia. Had I really aged so much in just 2 years? It looks like a TIE fighter window. I shook my head and looked away from that dreadful reflection in the window when I heard a faint coughing coming from the bridge. Oh, okay. It's voice acted, the cough is.
Again? What is causing that cough of his?
With only 3 accessible rooms, one of which housed the prisoner, there wasn't much space to wander on the cramped corvette ship that was Ithaca. I was already itchy with cabin fever 3 days into the voyage, and we still had another 3 left to go.
Time to get to work.
I took one last look out the window, then went to check on the only other Aean on the ship. Short walk through the corridor was as cold as ever. Passed the door to the cell room with a bare pause, but kept my eyes forward. Seeing always gave me a chill. I wouldn't think about that right now. When I walked onto the bridge of the ship, the light of a distant planet blinded me for a second. As my eyes adjusted to the light, the man sitting at the helm of the bridge turned and stood to greet me.
Good morning, Doctor Athena.
Good morning, Captain Odysseus.
Athena? Odysseus? Who's the prisoner? Hermes? It'd be weird if it's Hermes, but not like a Greek Hermes, but the Hermes from Futurama. That'd be really weird. Considering this is out in space, though, not as weird as you would expect. The pilot of Ithaca was a decorated military man of high esteem, even if the ceremonious clothes looked out of place on such a young man. Though he greeted me politely, the smile didn't quite reach his eyes. Even in the vacuum of space, he was the coldest thing around. Apparently, he'd been assigned a sudden mission to aid with prisoner transport. Strangely, he'd also come alone. That was the fastest way to escort merely 2 people, so he'd said.
You'll be happy to hear we will reach our destination on schedule in 3 days.
Right. So, where's the prisoner being taken?
Oh, I thought he was going to read it. The moon prison closest to a location that I'll be dropping you off at as well. They might still seem some distance, but rest assured I promise that our guests will be delivered to the cell within 3 days' time. I didn't say anything back. Everything about this guy just grated on the nerves, and I hated military types. All he seemed to do was break things for me to fix. I knew if I didn't hold myself in check, I would just go off on him. So sparing him my temper and myself a bigger headache, I just nodded.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
I don't know, he may have a fetish for that, so we may not have to ask him that. We might get more of an answer than we wanted. Let's check the cough. Let's be nice.
Your cough sounds like it's worsening. Can I please look at it?
Yeah, look at your cough. Okay. Your cough looks mildly invisible.
Very well.
I barely noticed it this morning, but very well done.
Open your mouth.
Excuse me?
I ignored his indignation and prodded him to do it as I said.
For the life of me, I can't figure out what's causing it. I've given you every medication I can think of, yet you still have it.
Really?
Oh. You see, the voices are confusing me because I'm like, if they're going to have voice acting, I'm going to let them do it, but then they stop. Well, it is only a cough. Aside from that, I feel perfectly fine.
Let's see. How about we increase your water intake for now? I'll keep looking into it. Hopefully, I can figure it out before I leave. Besides handing off the prisoner, where else is this ship headed?
As you make contact with the prison facility, I'll be slowly escorting you back to the nearest ITO headquarters. There, as I'm sure you're aware, they'll be assigning you a new job location. Here's that this next job won't nearly be as dangerous as your old one. I think I'm fine.
Very well.
I'll be here if you need to discuss anything further. The refreshments near your sleeping pod should have been refilled for the day.
Please.
Please let me know if you'll be in need of anything else. It's weird. His voice lines are not complete. Hers mostly is. The light from a distant sun was still aggravating my headache, so I took the captain's advice and worked my way back towards the sleeping quarters. While making my way through the corridor, I spotted the room holding the prisoner's cell out of the corner of my eye. My heart sank, as it always did when passing here, and I came to a stop. I stood for a long moment, considering the door in silence. Well, the food can wait a few minutes. I took a short detour. The cell looked as clean and professional as the captain, with no loose ends to speak of. Surely anyone inside would have had to resign themselves to their fate. And there they stood proudly on the far side of the cell, their countenance as unbothered as if they were merely a visiting guest. He looks mildly bothered. But then again, he's an alien. Maybe his bothered looks kind of like our. Maybe his bothered looks look kind of like our. Like, we don't give a crap look. So maybe it's a communication issue. This was an Ogygian and the only other passenger stuck in this claustrophobic ship. I was hesitant to greet them with all that had occurred. They seemed to have noticed me coming closer to the front. To common Aegean civilians, the sight might have been alien. Most on the home planet had never even left the Aegean orbit before, let alone met an honest-to-goodness, pure-blooded foreign and terrestrial. But after 2 years on the far rings of Ogygia, it was a familiar sight. Though tall, as Ogygians tended to be, the prisoner looked deceptively delicate. Their crisply pressed robes seemed more fit for an Ogygian scholar or aristocrat than a warrior. The only part of them that hinted that they'd seen combat was their now healing dismembered antenna. Oh yeah, I see that. I badgered the captain for intel, but apparently one of the victims had sent a description via transmitter before she. In any case, that had been the clue that aided in their capture. Well, that and their confession. Just gonna look at each other for. Whoa, what? Is this part? Is it part Ogygian and part Aegean? What's your name?
What's your name?
Aren't I just some alien savage to you?
Maybe to soldiers, but I'm a doctor.
Doctor for the military.
I am not... Just... What's your name?
Chiron.
I'm not laughing at your name, being funny. I'm laughing at the pause.
See, that wasn't so hard, was it?
And yours?
Athena.
It's a pleasure, I'm sure.
I smiled tightly, unsure what to make of them. Why'd you kill those doctors?
We are a neutral party, there to give aid to suffering Ogygians. Ogygians like you! Why? Why did you kill those doctors?
I don't know exactly what I expected them to say, but something compelled me to ask. Oh, they didn't say anything, okay. I was like, do I need to do a bunch of the pauses again? You know what's going to happen to you.
Do you know what's going to happen to you?
Okay, I don't need to read that part then, okay.
They're going to put you to trial for the murder of those doctors. You're certainly tight-lipped, aren't you?
Perhaps. Or maybe I just don't have anything to say to Aeaeans.
Aeaeans, okay.
I see.
What? What does this mean?
I've always been curious, though it's well known that there have been sexual relations between Ogygians and Aeaeans.
Do you always torture your prisoners like this? Or am I just a special case?
Very funny, you.
She is a doctor, so maybe she has a scientific curiosity.
I was just trying to make conversation. It's what popped into my head.
Let's talk about your sex organs. It's a casual conversation. How does it work? The look they gave me was not impressed.
My mother, she was Ogygian.
Oh.
What is a mother?
Pardon me. One of my parents was Ogygian.
The Ogygians weren't a binary race. Some of them had chosen to live among Aeaeans. Some that had chosen to live among Aeaeans chose a gender to present themselves as. Presumably, this was to help smooth the integration into Aeaean culture. My mother was once such a Ogygian.
And this mother of yours, do they know that you fight for Aeaea?
I don't. And she's dead.
Are you expecting me to feel sorry for you?
Hey, you're the one that asked! Forget it.
I don't know what I was trying to say anymore. Wasn't sure what else to say, and Chiron was certainly not going to try to fill the void. I hadn't got any answers to the questions that I was seeking. And I hadn't really expected to when I entered here. Glass wall between them, and I seemed suffocating. I figured I had stayed here long enough. Made my way onwards to look for refreshments the captain had promised. Found them placed near the old antique radio. I think I'm going to go ahead and call the video here. Interesting. So those are the two characters I'm stuck on the shelf with. Interesting. I guess we're going to find out more about, I guess it tells more about, the characters and the situation. I lost my train of thought. I don't know if you could tell, but I really lost it for a second. Pretty badly. So yeah, interesting. I guess you'll find out, later on, why, why Chiron, I guess they killed the doctors that Athena was working with. Anyway, like I said earlier, the game is completely free. You can, I'll put the link down in the description below for you to check it out for yourself if you want to see more of it. You know, if you want to see how it ends. And yeah, if you liked the video, feel free to leave a like, let me know your thoughts, and subscribe if you haven't. And I will see you guys in the next game. Later there, folks.